Hello and welcome to the Album Man, and today I'm going to be doing the last part of my CD collection, which, I've been quite late on this part, but still, I'm going to do it now. So, let's start off. So this is from S to Z. So, first we have St. Jude's Die With a Soul Fiend, and as you can see, this is, not a jewel case. It's, from Classic Rock. And yeah, they sort of gave it away with one of the magazines, if I remember. And yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic album. St. Jude really are a fantastic band. You should definitely check them out. They're a bit like, she has a sort of voice like a female Rod Stewart, and fantastic band. Really recommend checking them out if you don't know. Then we have Santana's Santana 3, I think, and I like Santana. This was pretty cheap, so I picked it up. Santana sort of very best of, Santana is a great band. The very best of Saxon from 78 to 79, even to 88, a 3 CD box set, and it really is a very comprehensive, best of Saxon. It really. It's very good, but I have been getting a few more of the albums, mainly on vinyl, so, I don't listen to this as much anymore. And then the Scorpions, weirdly, yes, this is the only actual album of the Scorpions I have, Sting in the Tail. I can't explain why, really have no idea, just one of those bands I need to get more of. Best of the Scorpions, Scorpions are great. Secret Discovery Into the Void. This is a pretty awful album, to be honest. I picked it up simply because it was £1 and never heard of them before, and just thought, why not in CX? It's a German band, and it's pretty awful, to be honest. Yeah, not good. Seether's Finding Beauty in Negative Spaces, an absolutely phenomenal post-grunge album. I'm actually going to see Seether in a couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I adore this album to absolute death. Seether's last album, Holding On To Strings Better Left to Fray, was not too impressed with this album. It was alright, but it certainly wasn't anything, particularly special. The Sex Pistols Jubilee, just a simple sort of best of the Sex Pistols. Do need to get more of them. Shinedown's The Sound of Madness, the deluxe edition, the 2-disc deluxe edition. This is just a phenomenal album. Absolutely adore it. In my opinion, a perfect 10 album. I have reviewed it before, and the deluxe edition's really good. It has a lot of bonus songs, and the bonus DVD is really interesting as well. Shinedown's Amaryllis, their last album, and yeah, it was a good album, not as good as Sound of Madness, but a really good album. Skin, and this is, I think this is just self-titled, Skinner, a great sort of 90s band, I think. Slash's Snake Pit, 5 O'Clock Somewhere, a more bluesier Slash, his first band after Guns N' Roses, if I remember. And I really like this album. I think it's definitely a good album. Then Slash, the deluxe edition of his debut solo album, which was, really good, to be honest. And the bonus edition has a version of Sweet Child of Mine with Miles Kennedy and 40 Pieces and Back to From Calais. It was a good album, certainly a bit hit and miss, things like Ghost and Beautiful Dangerous and Back from Calais and Dr. Alibi are really good, but other songs like Saint is a Sinner Too and We're All Gonna Die were certainly not quite as good, but having a different singer practically for every song, you're always going to get that, it's not going to be consistent. Apocalyptic Love, though, the second Slash album, it was a really good album. Saw them live, great band. Snow Patrol, Final Straw, always like Snow Patrol. I think they really are a good band. This is probably their best album. And 100 Million Suns, which has their best song on it, Take Back the City. God, I do love that song. Now for the most unusual CD in my collection, which is Sound from the Street. Now, I really doubt any of you will have heard of this, and if you have, I'd be absolutely shocked, to be honest. Because basically, it was, I think it was Prague I was in, and on the bridge, which is pictured here, there was this band playing of a guy singing through some sort of what looked like a trumpet thing, and a guitarist and a bassist, and it was actually really cool, to be honest. They were just playing some covers like Sweet Home Chicago and Saints Go Marching, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, they were selling their album there, and, you know, they were an entertaining band, so I decided to buy it. Yeah, you know, it's not the greatest album of all time, but, you know, it's a good album. It's, you know, it's a good bit of fun, you know, nice memories. Stade's Dysfunction, not a big fan of this album, don't think it's one of their best. Break the Cycle, yeah, you know, it's a good Stade album. Stade's Illusion of Progress, in my opinion, their best album, definitely. No doubt about that. But most fans seem to hate it, which is a shame. I mean, stuff like Pardon Me and Believe, I mean, God, they're good songs. They really are. Stade's latest album of their self-titled one, Stade, going back to their heavier stuff. Yeah, it's a decent album, even if it does have a weird rap song on it. Should review this soon. Status Quo, What Till You Drop. Most of my Status Quo collection's on vinyl, so this is the only thing I have on CD. I think this is a live thing, if I remember. Yeah, some live thing, I think. Pretty cool. Steve Vai's and Passion and Warfare. Really good Steve Vai album. Did enjoy this quite a lot, even though I was fairly skeptical. Stiff Little Fingers, go for it. Do love Stiff Little Fingers. Really good, sort of, I think, Irish punk band. Yeah, you know. And one of the other albums, Now Then, which isn't as good as Go For It. This is more later, and I don't think they're quite as good later. Still alright. And then I think Ending S, possibly. Yeah. We have Storm Corrosion's self-titled Abortion. Storm Corrosion. I did not like this album. Check out my review for my full opinion. I know, still more S to go. We have Survivor, and this is Too Hot to Sleep. Just, you know, happen to have this album, not particularly sure why, but yeah, you know, I like Survivor, they're alright. Okay, so now we start T with 3 Days Grace, Life Starts Now. I cannot say I really like this album anymore, but when I got it, I really was into 3 Days Grace, even though I accidentally got the wrong one. This wasn't the one I meant to get, but, you know, I really like them. Thought they were fantastic and really enjoyed this album at the time, but listening to it since, you know, it was a couple of years ago that, and listening to it since, I honestly can't say I like it very much. I think it's pretty awful. Thin Lizzy, Wild One, the very best of Thin Lizzy. I have about 5 Thin Lizzy albums on vinyl, so I've had this for quite a long time, this sort of best of Thin Lizzy. You know, it's a good best of, certainly. But I'd say, you know, to get into Thin Lizzy, the live one's definitely the way to go. Live and Dangerous. Okay, this is Tour's Enema, I think. I can't say I've actually listened to this yet. I should, definitely. Transatlantics, oh yeah, it's just called Stolt, Morse, Portnoy, Travasse, which are all the members. Stolt from Flower Kings, Morse from Spock's Beard, Portnoy from Dream Theater, and Travasse from Aurelian. And this has, in my opinion, their best song, All of the Above, which, I mean, oh my god, 30 minutes, 59, unbelievable song. Really strong album, really strong album. Some Trivium, and this is Trivium's Ascendancy, my favourite Trivium album, definitely. You know, not one of my favourite bands ever, but I think they're a good bit of fun to just listen to, you know, I do enjoy listening to them, to be honest. One of the few screaming bands I do. And I have The Crusade, which is, you know, another good, you know, Trivium album. Now we got on to U, and this is U2's War. You know, one of the most famous albums, probably the only U2 album that and Joshua Tree that I like. Not a big U2 fan, but, you know, this is a good album. Can't deny it. UFO, Strangers in the Night Live. I'm pretty sure it's that. Yep, Strangers in the Night Live. With Michael Schenker on guitar and a wonderfully blue case. And, you know, this is pretty much the definitive UFO album. You know, fantastic hard rock live album. You know, not much to say. Then UFO Making Contact and Misdemeanor in some 2 CD thing. UFO, really great hard rock band, as I said. And then we have a best of Too Hot to Handle, which is, standard best of. It's alright, it's not the best greatest hits. Velvet Revolver's Libertad, Velvet Revolver's second album, which and the band, it's Slash, Duff, McKagan, Matt Sorum, some other guy on guitar, and Scott Weiland from Stone Temple Pilots on vocals, who I can't stand, to be honest. I think this album is, I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest, really not. Van Halen's first album, I do love Van Halen. This is the one with Eruption on it, of course, and what a way to start a career. My favourite Van Halen album, though, 1984, the last one with David Lee Roth. Well, no, sorry, not the last one, because of A Different Kind of Truth, which we'll be coming up to say. But the last, certainly, from before Hagar, of David Lee Roth, and I think it's their best. Stuff like Jump and Hot for Teacher. I mean, fantastic album. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, another Van Halen album. This is Hagar this time. Not a big fan on any Hagar. I mean, I don't mind Hagar, but I'm not a big Hagar fan. I do have this album. It's alright. Then A Different Kind of Truth, which came out earlier this year. Great album. Check out my review of it. Now this is one of those albums, like 3 Days Grace, that at the time I absolutely adored Verso Merge. I remember thinking this was just an unbelievable album. I still do enjoy it, it's still an alright album. Last time I listened to it I thought, yeah, this isn't bad. They're not a bad band, but I don't like them half as much as I used to be honest, when this album came out. This is Whitesnake's, I thought it was, 1987, in my opinion, one of their worst albums. It has the crappy version of Here I Go Again, and it's alright, but, I mean, British Whitesnake is where it's at, which I have on vinyl. I have all of that on vinyl, I think. Slip of the Tongue, it's alright. It's not that good, to be honest. David Coverdale and Whitesnake, Restless Heart. I can't say I even remember what the hell this is, to be honest. Honestly, can't. White Lion, Big Game. I think this is a 90s band. I don't know, this is 89. But I'm still, a good, decent hard rock band. One of those typical 80s hard rock bands. And then we have Main Attraction. See the pun with White Lion here. Yeah, they're just good solid albums, to be honest. The White Stripes Elephant always seems to be voted as one of the best albums of last decade. And although I personally wouldn't have one on my list, I still think it's a fantastic album. Definitely the White Stripes' best. And I can understand why people rate it so highly. I think there were better albums last decade, but it certainly is a phenomenal album. No doubt in that. Yeah. Yeah, I have this. Let's move on. The Yes album, one of Yes's first albums. I do adore Yes, and happened to get 3 Yes albums on a 3 for 5 one time, which was an absolute bargain. So yeah, that one, my favourite Yes album, Close to the Edge. God, I love this, and just the title track alone. Oh my god, such a good album. And Fragile, another really good Yes album. And now a not so good Yes album, which I do not like, 90125. I need to give it a second chance, to be honest. But I just cannot get into this album, to be honest. It's just... no, it's not Yes. It is not Yes. Getting close to the end with Zed. We have ZZ Top live from Texas. And yeah, this is a fantastic live album. I think, if you want to get into ZZ Top and want to hear the classics, this is definitely a good way to go about it. It's pretty much a greatest hits, but live, which, ZZ Top are definitely one of those live bands. It has all the classics, Give Me All Your Loving, Sharp Dressed Man, Legs, La Grange, Tush, Got Me Under Pressure, all those fantastic stuff, a lot from the earlier stuff like Tres Hombres and stuff, but you know, really good album. And then we have the last thing in my collection is ZZ Top La Futura, which is their last album, and I'm not going to say anything about it because I'm going to be reviewing it very, very soon. So at last, that is my CD collection. I really hope you've enjoyed this series, and this has been the Album Man. Thanks for watching, comment, rate, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.